Hi there, CrossFit Naptown people out there, athletes, and I'm going to make a little short series here on some presses. We've got a bench press here, and then I'll take a closer look at the push press because there's quite a bit going on, especially once we introduce body movement, the first dip of the push press. Bench press, there can be a lot of things tweaked and adjusted just on your setup and your position that will cause you to bench quite a bit more. So let's go ahead and watch this, actually a PR yesterday, one time through, and then we'll go back and make some notes of different things. Alright, so on the setup, you notice how long it took me to actually set up and get ready to do the lift. That wasn't just stalling or um, anything of that nature. You can see that I'm actually starting to get my position. The hips are coming up and down. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to get a large arch in my back here, and you can see that. You could actually fit an arm right through there. If you could see from the side, there's quite a bit of space there. There's a big arch, and that does a couple things. First of all, that gives me a good angle to actually press. Once I start to press, let's see here, my arm angle to shoulder right now. Okay, if I were flat, my back was flat here, in line with the bench, I would not have nearly the mechanical advantage as I would since my back is like this. Okay, so my arm will be about like this. And you can think about this in terms of bench pressing flat on your back or doing a decline bench press. If you've ever done a decline bench press, what you're essentially doing is closing this angle, and it makes it easier. So people decline bench quite a bit more than they can flat bench, and that makes sense to us because as the angle increases, so maybe like on an incline bench, you don't incline nearly as much as you bench press, and continuing, you do not strict press. If I were standing up and pressing straight overhead, I would not strict press nearly as much as I could incline or bench press. Okay. Another reason why once you see me press in a few minutes, you'll see you have to lean back a little bit on the press, and that actually creates a mechanical advantage on the angle. Okay. All right. Next thing to notice is the hand on the bar. Okay. So hands on the bar here. The weight-bearing bone is this outside bone. So we have two bones. Okay, hopefully you can see that there. There's two bones. That outside bone is the one that will bear the weight. And so there's a little spot right here that is going to allow for the greatest power transfer. That needs to be directly attached to the bar, and what that means is your hands will actually have to rotate in just slightly in order to grab the bar, but you want this bone here to be directly pressing against the bar. Okay, back to the arch in the back. The last thing that this does, and you can see this here, is it decreases the distance that the bar has to travel. Okay, the bar is going to travel here. It decreases the distance. If I'm flat on my back, then my stomach area will come here. But as you can see, I have a great sort of arch here, and so actually I have several inches less that I have to actually bench press the weight. And finally, on the setup position, I am pulling my shoulders. Okay, shoulder here, and other shoulder here. I am pulling those back. Think about pinching your shoulder blades together. Think about trying to pinch a penny between your shoulder blades. I am pulling these back. I could, if I wanted to, push my shoulders forward up this way and have them situated more right here. But again, that will increase the amount of distance I have to press the bar. And just think about it. If your shoulders are locked back in position, then at the bottom of the bench press, and we'll see that in a minute, I'm going to actually have my arms, my elbow angle quite a bit more open, giving me more mechanical advantage. Let's see. I said lastly, but it's not lastly. You want your knees and your feet to be either behind. You don't want them to be out here in front. You want them to be behind. You want to create a great deal of tension. Okay, great deal of tension in your quads, your hamstrings. I actually got a pretty major cramp in my back and my glute on the lift. I attempted 315 prior to this and failed. Huge cramps. All that to say that there is a great deal of force being put into the floor this way, pressing the feet forward, creating a lot of tension. Everything's tight. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. Beginning to get the tension. And my girls are walking in, so hello. Hi. How are you doing, sweetie? Pocket. You got a pocket? Yeah, that's nice. All right, so again, main things I notice are the arch in the back and the shoulders being pressed back against the bench itself. Okay. As I come down, we're going to want to make note of the bar path. The bar path is going to travel slightly down, but definitely in a straight line. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me find the bottom area. All right, so if you look to the right, hopefully these things are visible to you. So if I make a note of where the bar is at the beginning and where the bar is at the end, you're going to see that that bar travels directly along that line. Starts here and it comes down, and because of parallax you can't see the angle exactly, but it is coming forward. Right here it's over directly. My arms are at a 90-degree angle. Okay, at least if you looked at it from the side, they're dropping straight down. Okay, and then the bench is obviously flat, and because of parallax there, it doesn't take it into account. But they're right at a 90-degree angle. So let's see here if I can find it. Something like that. Okay. And that would be, again, if you were looking at it from the perfect side profile angle. That being said, the bar, notice the bar path as it comes down travels extremely straight. I mean, it is following that line to a T. Okay, and it makes contact below the chest. I have spotted many people recently, and we had the bench at the GLI, and most of the inexperienced benchers are hitting this bar. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Most of the inexperienced, thank you, sweetie. You're very kind. Most of the inexperienced benchers are hitting somewhere on the chest. This actually hits below my pectoral muscles, right on that spongy part, the rib cage. It's the most bouncy, and I think you can see that there. Even though my pecs aren't the most defined, it's definitely hitting below the chest. Not much below, but again, think about pushing, just even as you're sitting there, pushing something from below the chest, and raise your arms up to your chest level and push. You just feel a lot more mechanically advantaged pushing from the lower position. So my arms at this point are pretty low, and that's accounting for the fact that the bar is traveling down and towards my stomach, towards my belly button on the way down. All right, so nothing wrong with bouncing. You see I'm wearing a belt. It's just creating greater pressure in the chest cavity. At this point, you can see the angle of the arm. This is really what, at the point, bar is still in contact with the chest. And the angle there, we're just going to say right now it says 52 degrees. Now, imagine if my shoulders were forward in the socket, that's 30 degrees. That is a difference of 20 degree change. Also, if I bounced, came a little bit higher, that would be 70 degrees. That's we're just showing right here that mechanically this is about the best position that you can find yourself in. So as the bar begins to go up, you're obviously going to hit a sticking position, and then it's just a matter of can you get through it. Again, notice the wrist being straight. The wrist is not. Papa, I got one M&Ms. Oh, that's very nice. You got M&Ms for breakfast? Is that healthy? Okay, so you went potty, so she gets an M&M for breakfast. Okay. Now I'm all distracted by M&Ms. Wrist is perfectly straight. You'll see a lot of people when they bench, they'll have their wrist doubled over like so. No, again, the weight-bearing bone bar is right on that. So comes up and lock out. Again, shoulders are back. I could feasibly press this bar a whole nother probably 4 to 6 inches if I just push my shoulders forward. But again, at the bottom position, it gives me a better angle, and at the top position, I don't have to do it. Okay, so I'm not going to do something I don't have to do. That's extra work. Might be fine if you're training, but when you're going for a 1 rep max or you're in a competition, there's no room for doing extra work, only room for efficiency. So hopefully this was helpful. You want to play with my iPad? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm almost done. All right. Well, it was good. Feel free to post comments, questions, and we will try to work on that. Thank you.